This video is brought to you by a huge mountain of drugs. Jared Carthalion versus Miiryum, Aron and Jodah. 2-lander, that is not half bad if we can get into a 3rd land for Cultivate. Probably shouldn't, but I'll risk a keep on that. And straight away drawing to that 3rd land is really good, so we'll take advantage and get down a Triome here. First spell of the game is Miiryum's Arcane Signet. And then we get into another land, that is a Zaitora's Proving Ground, a Tricycle land, so yep, get down a tap land here, ready for the Cultivate next turn. The Orzhov player throws down a Bojuka Bog and exiles our Verdant Catacombs. Temple of the False God, the mana not doing too well for Miiryum. Alright, and we draw into an Arcane Signet. I still think it's worth going for Cultivate here as opposed to that. Arcane Signet, not the worst thing for us there because we can play that and the Widespread Thieving next turn. If there's no threat of any creatures having haste or anything, it might just be worth getting down our commander and starting making Karvu. Well, there's a Mana Crypt, so I might get something threatening down here. There is an Azusa, 6 cards in hand, and immediately gets down a couple of additional Snowlands. And yeah, we are starting to see things that can swing into a commander now. Abzan Falconer this time. Miiryum is 1 land away from switching on that Temple of the False God and unclaimed territory here. And throwing down a Dragon Master Outcast. They are a couple of lands away from that one. Throwing a Lightning Greaves on there. May have played that last turn, I'm not sure I covered that one. Drawing to Rain Angel of Rebirth. I'm actually wondering now if it's worth... yeah, probably Mana Cannons as opposed to the Widespread Thieving actually. Because then next turn we can go for the Maelstrom Nexus and that'll set us up well for the next few turns. So we'll drop a Plains, Arcane Signet and the Mana Cannons here. Goreclaw into play now, starting to see the threatening creatures. Still not sure what type of Jodah deck this is. And it's starting to swing in at us with the Azusa. That's a good way to get some damage thrown your way from the Mana Cannons. Noteworthy that there's a Tainted Field here with no swamps in play for this player, so that is only a colourless land at the moment. Might draw into one off a Sign in Blood though. Apparently not, having to pass the turn with 8 cards in hand, and deciding to discard a Machias the Lunarch to hand size. Doesn't that cloak seem like a fire hazard there? Okay, our opponents seem to be struggling on mana here. Miiryum does have blue mana held up, so could always have counter magic, but yeah, we might have to go a little bit slower here. We keep drawing into lands. If we go for the Maelstrom Nexus, can't do anything else. We will deal 5 damage to something here, and it's probably Goreclaw. I think we're okay doing that, so let's get out the Nexus. So Mana Cannons triggers. It is 5 damage onto the Goreclaw. And there we go, another threat straight away. Lyra Dawnbringer could play our commander next turn to get rid of that thing, and just hope that Jodah doesn't scoop on us. Well, continuing to encourage us to blow their stuff up. And there we go, top decking into a swamp straight off the top, so that is their colours pretty much fixed there. And we see an Aristocrat in Cruel Celebrant. This one is whenever a creature or planeswalker you control dies, drain 1. And then they cast Fracture straight onto the Maelstrom Nexus, which is a damn good target for it. Couldn't hold up the Counterflux unfortunately. But if Fracture's going on there, it's not going on our commander. They swing in at us as well. They seem to have drawn into a dragon they can actually cast here. Still haven't dropped a land though. So a 4-mana dragon incoming. And that is an opportunistic dragon which can take a human from someone. A few targets here. Okay, it's the Mana Crypt they decide to steal away. Don't like the idea of a Miiryum player having a Mana Crypt, so yeah, I was going to say if they forget to use the Lightning Greaves, which they haven't, then we can bolt that with a Rien next turn. But that plays off the table now thanks to Shroud. They come in at us as well. Team at Ascendancy now, so do we just keep setting up and take some more hits from our opponents? Would be good to get some more ramp going with Widespread Thieving. Let's play that and see what we hide away under it. Okay, a Ruinous Ultimatum. How do we do this? Whenever we cast a multicoloured spell, create a treasure token, and then we can pay Wooburg. So next turn, if we go 3 mana Temur Ascendancy and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, yeah, that means that we play Rien this turn. So put Ruinous Ultimatum under that, play the Rien, and Mana Cannons can go on to, it's only 3 damage. Let's just throw it on the Abzan Falconer before it gives everything flying. Cruel Celebrant triggers, drains us all for 1. We are below 30. This way as well, going for Ruinous Ultimatum. There's every chance we see Miiryum over the next turn cycle, wrapping up another Angel in it as well, Gisela. And I bet they'll swing in with the Lyra towards us as well. Okay, the Azusa swings in at the Dragon player, and of course we get Lyra. Gonna wrap up a commander in the wipe as well, Aron Benalia's Ruin. We do not have the Opportunistic Dragon swinging in towards us. And they do not go for their commander there. Yeah, they could have played it, obviously wanting to hold up protection for Miiryum. Yeah, I really thought they'd go for their commander there. Okay, an Anguished Unmaking. We just continue ahead with the plan here of Temur Ascendancy. So Mana Cannons goes on the stack. We'll just point that directly at the Jodah player. And then we will put 5 mana into the Widespread Thieving. So that is 3 damage once again, and we'll put that also onto the Jodah player. We are going to make another treasure token here, so even if there's counter magic from this player, we can go for counter flux onto that. Make sure this Ruinous Ultimatum goes through. See Undying Evil going on to the Cruel Celebrant, not too worried about that. So the Cruel Celebrant triggers a couple of times there, once on itself and once from the commander, and then it is going to come back in with Undying. 1 saving grace here, even though we're at the lowest life total, we've got way more mana than any of our opponents. We did give them an extra mana with the Temple of the False God, now tapping for black mana thanks to Urborg. Not sure if they've actually noticed that though. So I'll deal 5 damage to Jodah and pass straight over here. Search the premises, a little bit of a pillow fort card, going to investigate every time we attack him. Cruel Celebrant swinging in towards the Miiryum player. Yep, Miiryum scooping there, not having the best of luck with mana that game. We draw into another land, so it might as well drop that, and we'll go for our commander finally. That's going to deal 5 damage from the Mana Cannons to Jodah. We'll make a treasure through Widespread Thieving as well. Plus on that, making a 3/3 Carvu over the next couple of turns, it'd be good to get the Maelstrom Nexus back. Temur Ascendancy does draw us a card with that, because the Riang gives it a +1 buff, so it does enter as a 4-power creature, which draws us into Swords to Plowshares, so no problem with interaction here. And we'll continue to repay the debt on the Jodah player. 5 damage in over there from Rien. They can investigate if they want. Cultivate from Jodah, a little bit too late for that unfortunately. Might get them into the mana that they're desperate for to wipe or something like that though. Just went for double blue with that. And then cracking a clue token, leaving at 1 blue mana. The Orzhov player doing something at the end of the turn here. That is a Sat's Will. Exile all opponents' graveyards. Then create a Thrall token for the greatest power amongst creatures that were exiled this way. Yeah, I'd really like access to Maelstrom Nexus. They'll make 5 Thrall tokens here, I think it is. Yeah, I think we just need to save the counterflux for a wipe that will get rid of our board, because then we really are screwed, so we'll just have to forego the Maelstrom Nexus unfortunately. It's a long plan anyway. Rite of Oblivion. Sacrifice a non-land permanent, exile a non-land permanent. And they are going after our commander. Might be time to Path to Exile this Cruel Celebrant with all these tokens in play. Again, I just want to hold on to my commander, or hold on to the counterflux in case our board is about to get wiped, so yeah, we'll just have to let our Jared go here. And then the 2/3 helping us out in getting rid of the 5 colour player. Jodah going to take 2 and investigate. Alright, draw into perfect colour fixing in the World Tree, drop that down. And we're just going straight in for our commander again here. Once again, 5 damage onto Jodah. Plus on our commander, making a 4/3 Carvu again, that will cantrip. And we can get rid of Jodah here. No point holding back blockers against a 2/3. Alright, draw into a board wipe in Vanquish the Horde, which I doubt we're going to use. Jodah playing it out to the end here. They do get some investigates, but can't do anything with anything that they could draw into anyway. Only have 1 mana held up. Okay, the 1 mana they had held up was a Pongify, so for the sake of getting rid of a player, I'm actually going to... yeah, I'm going to cast the Counterflux here, and if the Orzhov player actually has something, then it'll make a game out of it at least. Been a little bit one-sided in the end game at least. So that is 2 colours, might as well get rid of a Thrall. That will ping us actually, won't it? A Murek Nightblade. Each creature with a plus counter has Death Touch. Yeah, not particularly bothered about that. They haven't been able to stick their commander and actually do anything with it. I think I would have played my commander over this and got Summoning Sickness away from it. Then you could have had a plus counter on all of your stuff, and they all would have had Death Touch after you drop this, but don't think it matters anyway. I'm pretty sure we've got this against our opponent. Swords to Plowshares on the Cruel Celebrant is fine here. Save some damage on our commander, and it also keeps us from constantly getting pinged. Alright, and that's enough to have our opponent scoop. They did seem eager previously to keep the Cruel Celebrant, went for Undying on this instead of their commander. Yeah, so I don't know, are they setting up some kind of combo with this? We were drawing into another land, didn't struggle for lands that game. Alright, would have drawn into the Shadow Prophecy next turn, and then definitely, because it was just some lands and a Time Twister, would have had access to a few more things. Yeah, just mana on top, so definitely would have taken a land and Time Twister, and then our opponent would have drawn into a whole lot more cards. So yeah, maybe should have played that one out. We might have got our opponent into a bunch of good stuff there, but anyway, not having the best of luck in getting into Jared games, so hopefully you all enjoyed this one. This will be the best of a bad bunch, I imagine. Thank you to the patrons for their continued monetary support as ever. If you want to support financially yourself, then you can do so via the link in the description below. I'm tribalkai. Thank you for watching.